March 8, 1965, the Vietnam War began. 2.7 million Americans served in Vietnam, with over 9 million serving on active duty during the Vietnam era. During this conflict, there were 304,000 wounded, 75,000 were severely disabled. Over 58,000 were killed, and 61% of those were younger than 21. 5 of those were 16 years old. The Vietnam War was the longest and most unpopular foreign war in U.S. history. Over 1,600 are still unaccounted for. On March 29, 1973, the last troops came home from Vietnam. Although family and friends may have been thankful to have their loved ones come home, walking through the airports and train stations was not a celebratory experience for these servicemen and women. Many were met with hostile words and actions, along with their families. There were no thank yous, no welcome home parades, and no applause. Many of these veterans not only bear the scars from battle wounds, but also from broken hearts from a country that was clearly divided and lacked the ability to acknowledge the immense price that had been paid by these young men and women, along with their families. I am the wife of one of those Vietnam veterans, and after hearing the stories over the last 30 years, I have grown a passion that is now coming to fruition, but I need your help to make this happen. Along with AMVETS and the Grizzlies Baseball Organization, local businesses and community leaders, and friends like you, we are hosting an event that will honor and celebrate the sacrifice and service of our Vietnam veterans and their families. It will provide a layer of healing by giving them the much-deserved Heroes Welcome Home, and it will educate our community on this important chapter of our nation's history. Would you consider partnering with us to make this happen? We want to provide each Vietnam veteran, along with widows of Vietnam veterans, 2 tickets to the honor ceremony and a Grizzlies baseball game at no cost to them. We have also presented a POW MIA stadium seat in memory of the 1,600 unaccounted for soldiers from the Vietnam War. This chair remains closed and on display at Grizzly Stadium until all soldiers have returned home. All donations will be filtered through AMVETS, and once all expenses have been paid, the remainder will be donated back to AMVETS to continue the great work that they are doing for our veteran community. On behalf of our committee, our community, and every Vietnam veteran and loved one out there, we thank you for helping us to make this long overdue Heroes Welcome Home a possibility. Thank you.
Good afternoon, David Black here, Second Vice Commander for AMVETS State of California. Also work at Fresno Pacific University. Denise and I work together at the university. And when Denise approached me about her vision, I was truly excited to be a part of this vision and help it to come to fruition. One of the themes that we do have is honor, heal, and educate. Honor our Vietnam veterans and their dependents, have a healing component to bring all these veterans together and family members to celebrate them, and to educate. And the educate component that I take away from in doing this project is, I think of my father who did 2 tours in Vietnam, and try to put myself in his shoes as they come home, and what they experienced is something that I'll never understand. I joined the Navy in 1987 and retired in 2010, and all of my homecomings have been with warm, welcoming arms. So as I be a part of this project and help put this together, I look at all the homecomings, say from World War I to current time, and a lot of them have been great and wonderful homecomings, but we have this one area of whatever that was going on at the time, ideology, we just didn't treat our veterans well coming home, or their dependents. So for me to be a part of that, and to think of my father serving, and my mother who stayed home and took care of children, I'm all over it. And to teach my kids, and for me to learn and never forget their sacrifice and to honor them. So I'm really excited to be here, to be a part of this project, and any support that you could give to help us to never forget our Vietnam veterans and to honor their sacrifice.
My name is Ray Ortiz. I'm the Events and Entertainment Manager for the Fresno Grizzlies, and it is an honor for us to host the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans event happening at Chukchansi Park on April 28th. Not only from myself, but also from the front office and our new ownership group, and our president, Derek Franks. We are honored again and thankful for all the service that the veterans have given us in this great country, and it is humble for us to host the event at Chukchansi Park. Couldn't be happier to be part of such an amazing committee, and we look forward to an amazing event welcoming home the Vietnam veterans.
Yeah, so I had the privilege to get invited to the committee to welcome home the Vietnam veterans. Being a veteran myself, I got to experience a great welcome home, and the gentlemen and women from that era did not get to experience that. While you're overseas and you're serving, you know, having the support of your nation behind you, having purpose for what you're doing, it really helps you do the job. And well, these guys had to come home, and women came home without the nation behind them. It's obviously extremely hurtful. A lot of them had to do things that, you know, they otherwise wouldn't have wanted to. A lot of them were drafted. Some people were not there by choice. And to come home to a nation that was divided at the time had to be extremely difficult. So we want to do this to try to go back and undo some of the wrongdoings and make good on treating these brave people inappropriately. You know, and I'm also a small business owner, an entrepreneur, and for me, you know, I have what I have because people have gone before me and served and helped preserve the freedoms of America, and I wouldn't be where I'm at without them. So it's important to honor them and appreciate what they did and thank them.
Hello, I'm Smokey Rickard. I'm the Executive Director for AMVETS for the Department of California, which is also the American Veterans. I want to say thank you for stopping by and looking to GoFundMe, how wonderful it is, and hopefully that you will help support this wonderful and outstanding cause to be able to help heal, educate, and also honor our fellow veterans from Vietnam. I too am a 25-year veteran. I also had the opportunity to be a fighter pilot in Vietnam. I had 288 combat missions, 840 hours of combat time. I think when I came home from Vietnam, I think there's probably one of the lowest points in my life because of walking out of those gates from the base upon return, and all of the remarks that was being said. There was passing people, demonstrations of people having heart-wrenching remarks, and realizing too that later on my wife and family, along with other families and spouses, had to endure a lot of the same things. Once they found out that your loved one was overseas, that it became such a tumultuous experience to be able to go through as a family, to the point that some of the families had to leave and move to other locations. So besides welcoming home the Vietnam veterans and saying how truly we're sorry, and also welcome home and thank you for all your service, and thank you for returning home the way you are, and we hope you live the rest of your life in a great place, we also need to do that to their wives, our families, and our spouses who also had to endure it. We're sorry. We're sorry for leaving you. We're sorry for leaving you in such a place that you could not defend yourself. And with that, I say, we love you, thank you for staying beside us, and thank you for moving on with us. And also for you who stopped by this GoFundMe account, thank you. Please help us out. Please help make this an experience, a great one for our veterans on April 28th. With that, I bid you a blessed day.